Today, I need to talk about the delusion of Kamaru Usman. This guy has been going around on his pound for pound podcast with Henry Cejudo over the last, I'd say, 7 months to a year, and just saying some very ridiculous things. And I want to dispel it and kind of talk about why Kamaru Usman's always kind of been overrated. And he's a bit delusional because in his mind, he's insinuated or hinted at that he deserves a title shot in his return, despite not having a win since 2021. So in this video, I want to trash Kamaru Usman and talk about how, listen, buddy, you don't call the shots. You haven't had a win in over 3.5 years. It's time to shut up or put up or shut up. And if you're not going to fight, then just retire because your knees are getting worse by the second. But let's get into the facts. Let's look at some stats about Kamaru Usman. He has a grand total of 0 wins since 2021. Let me check my math. What year is it? 2025. This guy doesn't have a win since 2021. And he's hinting on his podcast he deserves a damn title shot? No. Screw that, dude. 0-3 in his last 3 fights. I don't care if he went to a close fight with Khamzat Chimaev. He got destroyed in the first round. Sure, he looked good in the second 2 rounds, but where's this guy been since? He hasn't fought since October of 2023. At, what was it, UFC 286? This guy hasn't fought in a year and a half, and he's on a 3-fight losing streak? And he's talking about coming back and getting a title shot against Belal. And he has come back and said that he's pretty much a better version of Belal. And while I would agree in his prime that he's pretty much an upgraded version of Belal, the thing about Kamaru Usman is he's not in his prime anymore, man. This dude's 37 years old. This guy's knees are screaming every time he takes a step. This guy has already talked about how bad his knees are and how he can't run and how he has to walk down the stairs backwards. And we're talking about this like 6-7 years ago. And this guy's nearly 38 years old now. He's 37 years old. He'll be 38 in May. No win since 2021. 0-3 in his last 3. Has not fought since October of 2023. And the whole reason I'm making this video, the thing that really annoyed me about Kamaru Usman is how is this guy still ranked number 4? What other fighter do you know that has not fought in a year and a half and is on a 3-fight losing streak and is ranked number 4? Listen, I understand respecting the greats of the sport, you know? I understand not completely dropping a guy completely out of the rankings just because he hasn't fought in a while and because he has some losses. You know, Kamaru Usman was at the top of his game for a long time, 15-fight win streak, 5 title defenses. But listen, man, it's not 2021 anymore. Masvidal's retired, dude. Colby Covington's on the brink of retirement to become a poker player, and that's his last 2 wins. And it's like, for Kamaru Usman, why is this guy ranked number 4? He should be ranked like number 11 or 12 by now. Why has he not fell in the rankings? He recently, and I mean recently, who was it? Sean Brady beat Leon Edwards, dominated him, finished him in the first round. And Kamaru Usman finally dropped from number 3 to number 4. But before that, this guy's been hovering at the number 3 spot since he fought Khamzat. He has not moved. It's almost like the UFC is rewarding Kamaru Usman for taking a fight on short notice with Khamzat. Like, oh, you took the fight on short notice with Khamzat, so we're going to give you a pat on the back, and we're going to keep you ranked number 3. But it's like, dude, at some point, something's got to give, because what you're doing with Kamaru Usman is you're pretty much saying, hey, buddy, it doesn't matter how inactive you are. You can go on not fighting for 6 years. You'll be ranked the top 5 or welterweight. Don't worry. It's nonsense. And fighters that aren't fighting and haven't won a fight in nearly 4 years need to absolutely be dropped out of the rankings, at the very least outside the top 10. The fact that this guy's ranked number 4 in 2025 when he hasn't got a win since 2021 is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sick of him going on this podcast, yapping it up with Henry Cejudo about how he's the best welterweight in the world. And when he's healthy, he could beat anybody. Like, yeah, dude, listen, it's not 2019 anymore, buddy. This ain't Tyron Woodley and freaking Darren Till on the come up. This is the new age of welterweight. This is Belal Muhammad. This is Shavkat Rakhmonov. This is Jack Della Maddalena. This is Joaquin Buckley. Funny enough, whenever Joaquin Buckley had his fight against Colby, Kamaru Usman knew that Joaquin Buckley was going to call him out if he won. And Kamaru Usman literally left the arena as soon as Joaquin Buckley finished Colby Covington. He left the arena so he didn't have to listen to Joaquin Buckley call him out. It's like, dude, at some point, it's time to defend your position. He should 100% be fighting Joaquin Buckley, or he should be fighting Ian Gary. He needs to defend his position. And I think him versus Buckley is literally the perfect fight. But let's get on to his last 5 wins, or fights, should I say. He has a loss to Chimaev, very close fight, but he nearly got finished in the first round, got 10-8'd, and then came back to win the last 2 rounds to an arguable draw, fair enough. He got beat by Leon Edwards, which in hindsight aged terribly, given Leon's recent 2 performances. He got knocked out by Leon, fair enough. He was dominating that fight before the knockout, but nonetheless, he got head kicked into the stratosphere. And his last win came against Colby Covington, I believe, in November of 2021. And now if we looked at the way Covington's career's panned out, Covington's not great. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just not impressed with Colby Covington's career. Colby Covington's a guy that cherry-picked his entire UFC career and fought old, washed-up legends like RDA at 33, like Robbie Lawler at 37, like Tyron Woodley at 38, like Masvidal at 38, like Damian Maia at 39. Literally all of Covington's best wins are against old unks like myself that are nearly 40 years old. So it's like, and that's Kamaru Usman's best win. Kamaru Usman's best win is Colby Covington. Like, I'm sorry, dude. That's not a great look for your legacy. And for the people that were saying this guy was about to pass up GSP, that is effing laughable. This guy's level of competition, when he had the belt, he literally had 2 rematches. He fought Jorge Masvidal, went to decision, knocked him out in the rematch. Fair enough. But Jorge sucks. He got his title shot off for beating Nate Diaz, Ben Askren, and Darren Till off a loss. It's like that's what earned you your title shot. And then you get beat by decision by Kamaru. He gets a rematch against Jorge without Jorge even getting a win. Knocks him out in the rematch, fair enough. But then he gets a fight with Colby in the rematch, an older version of Colby. And Colby drops him and arguably could have won that fight. But I thought Kamaru edged it out. But my point is, Kamaru Usman's wins have not aged well. And this guy hasn't had a win since 2021. I mean, buddy, it's 2025. And we're nearly halfway through 2025. We're already in April. And this guy's talking about how whenever he comes back, he's looking to fight for a belt. No, buddy. You're looking to fight retirement. Bilal Muhammad absolutely cooked Kamaru Usman on Twitter whenever he said, hey, buddy, you're closer to Tony Ferguson's losing streak than you are to being in the title picture. And I couldn't agree more. Kamaru Usman is nowhere near the title picture. This guy's struggling to walk these days, much less fighting for a UFC belt. So in my opinion, at this point, Kamaru Usman should just look to hang up the gloves, because at 38 years old, hasn't fought in a year and a half. Let's be real. Ring rust is a real thing. Not everybody is Dominic Cruz and can come back after X amount of time and come back and win a fight. And I just don't see this guy at 38, and who knows when he's going to return. 38 years old, out for over a year and a half, hasn't had a win in forever. His confidence is going to be at an all-time low. I think these old guys smoke him. I think Shavkat beats Usman. I think Ian Gary beats Usman. I think Buckley beats Usman. I think JDM beats Usman. I think Bilal beats Usman. I think they all beat him. I think he's way past his prime. He's washed up. His knees are screaming every time he takes a step, as I said. So, yeah, man, and let's just take a look at Kamaru Usman's last wins and see how well they've aged. Colby Covington is 1-2 in his last 3 since fighting Kamaru Usman. Gilbert Burns is 3-4 in his last 7 since fighting Kamaru Usman. Oh, and by the way, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. Jorge Masvidal never won a fight again after fighting Kamaru Usman. And people are going to cope in the comments and they're going to say, dude, the reason they never won a fight is because Kamaru took their soul and made him that way. No, that's a load of crap. Let's be real. Kamaru Usman's level of competition has never been the strongest. That's the truth. His level of competition was extremely overrated. And his best win is Colby Covington the first time. Colby Covington, whenever Kamaru Usman fought him the first time, was really good. And the rematch, it's like you already beat him once, and you didn't even beat him as decisively the second time. Gilbert Burns, that was a good win at the time, but it's not aged well, as Gilbert Burns has gone 3-4 in his last 7. Jorge Masvidal's always been a journeyman. He should have never got a title shot in the first place. Beating Ben Askren gets you a title shot. I mean, where's Damian Maia's title shot after he beat him? You know what I'm saying? But my point is that Kamaru Usman's wins have not aged well. It's like, and then even his losses haven't aged well, because his last 2 losses are to who? Outside, like in the welterweight division, they were both to Leon. Look what Bilal Muhammad did to Leon, right? Look what Sean Brady did to Leon. Sean Brady made Leon look like a child. And whenever Kamaru Usman fought Leon in the trilogy, he couldn't do anything. I mean, I wouldn't say he got dominated, but he got out-hustled and outworked for 5 rounds and lost a clear decision. And it's like, look at what Sean Brady did to Leon Edwards in that fight just now, and then look what Kamaru Usman wasn't able to do to Leon Edwards in that 3rd fight. And it's like, dude, at this point, I think Sean Brady would ragdoll Kamaru Usman, because his cobblestone knees ain't gonna hold up at 38 years old. It's just not gonna cut it. So his wins haven't aged well. He hasn't had a win since 2021. He's 0-3 in his last 3 fights. He's still ranked number 4 at welterweight somehow. In my opinion, it's the UFC's way of saying, hey, man, thank you for taking the fight with Khamzat Chimaev. We appreciate it. We're going to hold your ranking in the top 5 for the next 5 years. And so, yeah, guys, stay tuned. Kamaru Usman will literally be ranked in the top 5 in 2027, still haven't fought. This guy will have a record. He has to have a record. The longest time not dropping a ranking without fighting, because he just dropped after the Sean Brady fight from number 3 to number 4, right? Before that, he hasn't fought since October of 2023, and Kamaru Usman has been ranked number 3 or higher for a year and a half or a year and like 4 months without fighting. Can someone else explain? Who else gets this treatment? I'd love to know. Alexander Rakic maybe, but Rakic fights, but he is 0-3 in his last 3 fights, and he's still in the top 5, or he might have fell out of the top 5. But listen, I already know people are going to be running to the comments and saying, dude, you're just disrespecting Usman. He was the pound for pound number 1 for so long, 15 fight win streak, and now he loses a couple fights and he's not the same guy. Listen, I respect Kamaru Usman's legacy. I think he was a solid fighter, or an amazing fighter. No, like, non-good fighter doesn't get 5 title defenses. You know, he had his championship reign, he had his 5 title defenses. But listen, brother, you're 38. You ain't coming back and fighting for a title. It's time to hang it up. You're not that guy anymore, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. But anyways, I'm just tired of every time I see Kamaru Usman on the Henry Cejudo, on their pound for pound podcast, talking about Kamaru Usman's like, yeah, man, whenever I'm healthy, I think if I get in there and put it together against any one of these guys, I'm the best in the world. Like, bro, listen, this is not the Stone Age anymore, bro. This isn't the Tyron Woodley era. It's not 2021 anymore. It's not 2020 anymore, bro. We're in 2025. Step in the cage, defend your ranking, and if you don't want to, then retire. Stop rank squatting. If there's something I can't stand about a UFC fighter, it's a rank squatter. Colby Covington, rank squatter. Brian Ortega, rank squatter. Kamaru Usman these days, rank squatter. Even Khamzat Chimaev, rank squatter. It's like, dude, if you're not going to fight, then just retire. Like, I don't understand, especially at 38 years old. It's like, what else does he have to prove? He had his title reign, 5 title defenses. You know, it came to an end. As in his own words, Leon hit lightning in a bottle, even though Leon beat him decisively in the rematch, or in the trilogy, should I say. But yeah, man, Kamaru Usman, I'm just, like, I know you guys have seen the clips of this guy going around insinuating or hinting that whenever he comes back, he's going to get a title shot. Like, bro, who else you know is on a 3-fight losing streak that gets a title shot? Bro is really living in peaches and creamville out here. And another thing I want to talk about is, it's funny because I think Bilal Muhammad absolutely schooled Kamaru Usman on that podcast. You guys know the one I'm talking about. Apparently, Bilal Muhammad went on the Pound for Pound podcast and made Kamaru Usman extremely emotional, and they refused to release that episode. We're all been waiting to see it, and the world wants to see it. I want to see it, and we all know that Kamaru Usman got embarrassed because he barely talks about it, and he writes it off as, doesn't really happen. We all know what happened. Bilal Muhammad went on there, made some jokes, offended Kamaru Usman, pretty much said, hey, man, I'm the champion now, and you're washed, so get out of here. And Kamaru Usman probably got mad, got up and wanted to fight him, and just made a fool of himself, and he doesn't want to release that episode. But speaking of podcasts and such, don't you guys find it ironic, right, that Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo, right, they run, look on the screen, they run the Pound for Pound podcast, right, sponsored by Shadowline, supposed to be the best fighters, right? I can't even say this with a straight face. Dude, they run the Pound for Pound podcast. So let me say it one more time. The Pound for Pound podcast. And guess what? They're a combined 0-6 in their last 6 fights. The irony of calling your podcast the Pound for Pound podcast being a combined 0-6. Him and Henry Cejudo in their last 6 fights. Listen, I'm not trying to come off as a guy with hater energy, even though I know I am. I'm drinking that Kamaru Usman haterade right now. But like I said, I can't stand rank squatters. This dude's been yapping it up on his podcast the last year and a half, talking about how he's still, if he puts it together, he's the best welterweight in the world. Bro, you're not even an active fighter anymore. I mean, John Jones has had a more recent fight than Kamaru Usman. That should say everything you need to know. This guy's an inactive fighter. He's living in peaches and creamville back in 2021. And yeah, man, this ain't the same landscape, bro. You and Henry Cejudo are combined 0-6. I think they both need to hang it up. They're both absolute unks that are cooking at the barbecue with some busted up knees, and they think they're going to come back and win a UFC championship in 2025. It ain't happening, little bro. Sit down, fight Joaquin Buckley, get your ass whooped, and then you'll be on a 4-fight losing streak, and it's time to hang it up. Kamaru Usman, he had his legacy, he had his money, but it's time for him to stop being delusional and thinking that he's going to get a title shot off a 3-fight losing streak. It's like, no, little bro, you're not getting a title shot. And yeah, I just had to go on this little rant because Kamaru Usman in recent times, listen, when he was at the height of his championship, by no means did I think he was like GSP, about to pass up GSP like other people were saying. But I thought he was an amazing fighter. I thought that he was deserving of pound for pound number 1. He always stepped up. He fought the best challenges, and he was dominating guys for the most part in his title reign. But man, post-title reign Kamaru Usman has been such an embarrassment, and I just won't stand for it anymore. So I had to come out of here and call out his shenanigans once and for all. Kamaru Usman, stop being a B, get in the cage, face Joaquin Buckley, or retire your old ass out of the octagon. Peace.